So Ghana has made some progress when it comes to education generally, and even science and technology education. But there are very important gaps that exist when it comes to STEM, particularly for the involvement of women. Only 25% of technical jobs are occupied by women. And we go high in academia, the numbers are more dire. Today on Edtech Monday, we'll be speaking to a woman whose life represents progress. She's one of the most prominent faces in science and technology, the host of the National Science and Math Quiz. She also happens to be the first woman to be dean here at the School of Engineering, University of Ghana. Professor Elsie Kaufman will be talking to me about what her life represents in the struggle to bridge this gender gap, and also how we can use EdTech tools to solve this problem. Don't forget, EdTech Monday is brought to you by the MasterCard Foundation and is executed by the Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Technology and shown on Channel 1 Television and 97.3 City FM. So we'll be getting into her office to have a chat with her about her journey. Stay tuned. So while Ghana has done well in this technical transformation agenda and digital transformation for that matter, there are large gender gaps. We have only 25% of people in the technical workforce who are women. How do we bridge this gender gap? What must be done by way of EdTech to stop or to reverse that? We're very privileged to be joined by Professor Elsie Kaufman, one of my favorite people, one of Ghana's favorite people, a professor of engineering. Now you're the dean of the School of Engineering. You're still the quiz mistress?
Yes.
And then you're also, what else are you? You are the founder of the Elsie Kaufman Foundation.
The Elsie Kaufman Foundation, yes.
So you are wearing about how many hats do you wear?
Many of them. Many of them.
Many of them. Which one do you enjoy the most?
Changes over the years, and over the periods of time that I am doing activities.
Yeah.
When I have my students with me, I'm teaching, they're understanding, they're coming up with wonderful project ideas. I enjoy the teaching bit.
Yeah.
When I'm coming up with new ideas for moving the School of Engineering forward, I like the administrative bit.
Of course, you love the quiz. You say with the same preamble.
Yes.
Simplify.
Like that.
For 2 points.
Yes.
You like that one too?
I like that one too. And I like being a mother. My mother also.
That's incredible. How did you get into science? Not the full story, just the abbreviated version.
The abbreviated version.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was always a good student, but I seemed to enjoy the sciences. So I remember in primary school, there was a class, biology class, life cycle of the butterfly. And the teacher says, well, it starts from the caterpillar and it becomes a butterfly. I couldn't imagine how that would be. So I wanted to see for myself. So even at that time, I was doing experiments.
Okay.
But I didn't realize that I really liked it that much.
Okay.
In Ghana, if you're a good student,
they push you into science.
Yes. And so that's how I wound up when I went to secondary school and they were sorting us into the various classes. They put me in the science class.
But even in science, you could have done biology and gone the natural sciences. You went into the physical, engineering, complicated science.
It's not that complicated. But yes, like every good science student, you're supposed to go to medical school, become a medical doctor. So the natural thing is to do the biological sciences, life sciences, and become a medical doctor. But I got an opportunity to leave Ghana on scholarship. I was asked when I was leaving to go out there, study, come back and make a difference. I took that very seriously. So I wound up going to the University of Pennsylvania to study bioengineering. I selected bioengineering because I was told I couldn't go to medical school right away. I had to do a first degree. And the description I found in the brochure sounded like something you do before medical school. So I arrived on the campus of University of Pennsylvania without knowing what it was, but I was there to do it. It was when classes started and I found out through the first year introductory course, Introduction to Bioengineering, that's when I decided that, this is something amazing. This is something even more exciting than the medical school I was thinking about, and so I'm staying. And that's how I wound up doing bioengineering.
How supportive were your parents with your decision to do science first and also to travel abroad? Because there are lots of stereotypes about what girls can do. And I'm guessing this is in the 80s.
Yes.
So for your dad and mom to be told you're going to be a science student and then you're going to go to the US as a young girl to go and learn bioengineering. So just tell me about that dynamic.
Yes, I will forever thank my parents for the way they raised us. We were not, I didn't even know that people were discriminated against in terms of their gender when it came to going to school, when it came to studying subjects, because it was never an issue in our household. They did well that way. Both of my parents were teachers.
Correct.
And their belief, my father especially, was that you pick what you want to do and you make sure you are the best or one of the best at it. And this was how we were raised. So even in house chores, we all did house chores and we're all expected to excel in something. Remember I told you I left Ghana and I was asked to go study as much as possible, come back and make a difference. This fell very much into that kind of thinking, right? So you go out there, come back and make a difference. And I took it very seriously because of my upbringing. If you promise to do something, you actually do it.
Yeah. And
so I was thinking even while in university, what is it that I could do and bring back to make a difference with? And that's when I realized it was the bioengineering. Again,
so you went to an all-girls school, a Brig Girls. So that suggests that you were surrounded by girls. But when you went to the university, how much of a minority were you on the gender side, obviously on the racial side as well, within such a specialized area as biomedical engineering?
Actually, let's even start from the high school that I went to outside Ghana on scholarship. I went to the United World College of the Atlantic in the UK, in Wales. This is an international school where at that time there were 68 countries represented. 68 countries. In a dorm room, there were 4 of us. Each person had to be from a different country.
Wow.
Yes. So right from there, everybody was a minority. Certainly coming from Ghana, there were only 2 of us from Ghana in the place when I got there. Yes. So that idea of being the only person doing something was not so unusual for me by this point. Then I go to university, and yes, in my class, bioengineering class, I remember there were 66 of us that showed up, first year orientation. And I remember them telling us, look to your left, look to your right. By the time you are graduating, only one of you would be left.
Serious?
Yes. And it did happen. By the time we were graduating, I think there were 28 of us left.
It was that bad?
Well, people switched to other programs when they felt the engineering was not the thing they wanted to do. And
I'm sure it was tough too.
Well, anything good comes at a cost. But anyway, it was possible to do it, and it was exciting in spite of, the subjects that we had to study. So I was certainly, in my class that graduated, I was certainly the only Ghanaian, the only African.
The only African in that class?
Yes. But there were enough women. Bioengineering was not noted for being so much male-dominated. I think there was about a 50-50 split or 40 split, that kind of thing in our class. Yes.
So still with the issue of numbers, are you surprised about the gender gap we see? 25% professionals in the technical side are women. And I'm sure within even Faculty of Engineering, it must be more dire. Just give me a sense of how much the gap is.
Yes, the gap is significant. So the 25%, that's for all tech fields, right?
Yes.
In the workforce.
Yes.
When it comes to engineering, it's worse. It's worse. It's about the 10% thereabout.
Serious?
Yes, it's not been great. And let me share some of the numbers.
Yes, please.
Okay, so when you look at admissions into engineering programs, when we started here at the School of Engineering Sciences at the University of Ghana, we were typically around 12 to 15% female population. There's been a lot of work. I personally do a lot of work. I promote engineering with all my might. And we are now around 31, 32% female. So there's been improvement over the years. However, if you go into the professional fields, and recently I had to do a talk at FEMITech, and so I called up the Ghana Institution of Engineering. Let's talk about the population of female engineers. in the professional association. And I was given a percentage of about 10%. Yes. So there is a leaky pipeline, right? So the numbers keep getting lower and lower. If you come to University of Ghana, School of Engineering Sciences, once again, this is my example everywhere. I've already mentioned the student population, the female student population, around 30% now. If you look at faculty, I have a faculty strength of about 70. That includes all of our part-timers. And we have about 7 female faculty members.
So the higher you go, the more difficult it becomes. Because if you have 30% students, but 10% faculty being women, that means that it's a narrow pipeline.
It is a leaky pipeline.
What is it about? By the way, STEM, we're talking science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes.
Is this true for the 4?
No, it's not. As I mentioned, a lot of work has been done. In the beginning, it was even difficult to find people who were interested in studying for the sciences, right? And so if you remember campaigns to get people into the sciences, now if you look at the biological sciences, the life sciences, the medical sciences, you will find that I don't think we have a huge problem there.
Wonderful.
Yes, we don't have a huge problem there. But if you look at the mathematical sciences, the computational sciences, engineering sciences, we still have an issue. And so we still have more work to do.
And it seems as if all the roles you've played and the roles you play now have put you in the sort of role model phase, hosting a very popular quiz, which is science and math based, and now being dean of the School of Engineering. Let's talk about the quiz. What do you think it does for women to see you? And by the way, you're not the first woman. So there was Mariam.
It's always been women quiz mistresses.
Which is a good thing.
At the national level, yes. It's intentional.
It's an intentional thing that the founders. How has that helped to, I don't know whether to convince parents, because there are many gaps, right? There are parents and the way they think, they are the girls themselves and how they see things, the institutional barriers. How important is it for us to see you perform the way you do on television?
As I mentioned earlier, it was even difficult to get people to be interested in the sciences when I first joined. And I joined the team in 2005. I was on stage for the first time in 2006. Those were real issues. People were not interested in these subjects. However, by making it popular, making it approachable,
interesting,
there are people now, young children who watch this program and decide that they are going to get into the sciences. They even start thinking about careers in the sciences. That is huge. Yes. And the young ladies, when they see what is possible, it's easier for them to dream.
Which is why I notice you like the application part of the quiz, and a lot of times you talk to the audience. You will say, viewers, this is what we've been saying. So you don't just close in and discuss the science. You always, it's a deliberate thing, right? Because you talk to us and you tell us that, so next time you go and fetch your water and you're going to drink it, you know, it's difficult, but it makes it seem very easy to communicate difficult concepts to everyday examples.
It's important because the young ladies, especially, most of the ones that, for example, come to us here in engineering, they want to make an impact. They want to improve lives. They want to have an opportunity to change things. And it is the science that is going to help them to do that. Letting them realize that what they are doing is important. When you see an equation, when you understand the concept, this is the end game. You should be able to look at a problem that you are facing in your environment and use those same concepts to be able to come up with a solution to those problems. That it is not so abstract. It is something that is with us. It's something that can help you to achieve the objectives that you have set for yourself.
We spoke about the narrow pipeline. Could there also be societal barriers in sense of what a woman is expected to become? So if I'm 24 and I'm a man and I'm studying for my PhD in engineering, nobody gives me any pressure for the next 5 years because they know I'm studying. But if I'm a woman, they may start asking my biological clock. They want you to get to start a family. And some of those decisions may affect the dedication that, because I mean, mathematical sciences require dedication. Most things require dedication, but I think for yours it's even much serious. Just talk to me a bit about that and what can be done. Now you're a dean here, VC is a woman as well. Is it affirmative action? Is it being more flexible? What can we do to give women a fair chance in these fields?
All right. Yes, there's so much that can be done, but it all requires intentional planning and execution.
Okay.
It has to be very intentional. So it starts right from the basic level. If we don't have young people interested in doing it, they are not going to be prepared at the time that you want them to do the programs. And so we need to have programs at the lower levels where we are getting the young people excited. What is it that will make them excited? The girls, for example, let's put tools in their hands. Yes, give them things to play with. You are teaching the concepts, but you are making it fun and exciting for them, right? This is why I work at the basic school level, even now.
You still work in a basic school level?
Oh, yes, with the foundation and with Dex technology.
Of course.
We take the science set and we go to school. We have them play with these tools.
So which is why the science is a critical part of this, because it makes science real.
So they have tools that they are playing with, right? They have tools they are playing with. The concepts are not just given, this is a mathematical equation, memorize it. No, it's not about that. It's about problem solving and encouraging curiosity, even at that level. Then in the senior high schools, now we are more and more using digital tools, right? We need to have an opportunity for them. You know, there's also statistics that shows that there's a gender digital gap.
Yes.
Yes. So let's make these tools affordable. The digital tools, let's make them affordable. Let's have more programs that are done on mobile platforms, because the young ladies have mobile devices that they can afford. They will be using them. Let's talk about, yes, University of Ghana, for example, has an affirmative action admissions policy.
Correct.
So for a place like this in engineering, in fact, I think it's at least 3 of my departments do this. When we are doing the admissions, we will take young ladies with higher aggregate. We usually go +1 or +2 higher than the cutoff for the males. That encourages more of them to join.
And they're able to cope and succeed.
They do very well.
They do very well.
They do very well once they come. But it's not enough to admit. We must also have programs, mentorship programs while they are here.
Okay.
We need to have activities that they can do. So those competitions that we have, the robotics competitions, we make sure that we have enough of the young ladies participating in these activities. We need to sensitize ourselves. You see that my faculty, for example, is majority male. We all need to be sensitized, because sometimes just one discouraging word from a lecturer can send someone on a different path. So we need to be more inclusive in the things that we do. We need to have an environment that is welcoming for all, right? So if you are alone, and many people tend to be alone in their classes. If you're alone, you are actually fighting some battle beyond what you have to do in your academic work. Because if you have issues, who do you speak to if you don't have the examples?
Wow. And you will see that better because you're a woman and you've also been through. Wow. Then your students become more like your children as well. Because now you are teaching them practically, but also mentoring them in life.
Yes. Part of the job is to be an example of what is possible. So you see me, you come to my office, you see me surrounded by all kinds of trophies and things.
Yeah.
It's a source of encouragement. So they come in here, they talk to me, they talk about something.
They get inspired.
Yes, it's an inspiration for them to be able to see that it is possible for them to do these things, even when the circumstances may be saying otherwise. This
is Edtech Monday, and today we're coming to you from the offices, the very nice offices of the Dean of the School of Engineering here at the University of Ghana, Professor Elsie Efa Kaufman, a woman with many credentials. She's a researcher, a teacher, a quiz mistress, and a mentor. She's also the founder of the LC, Efa Kaufman Foundation. We're trying to navigate the topic of reducing the gender gap in STEM with particular emphasis on the hard sciences, if I have a different expression for that. If you're watching this, you can send us your comments on the WhatsApp number on the screen. If you're listening to us on the radio, you can send us a question or comment on 059 267 4082. That's 059 267 4082. You can also scan the QR code at the bottom left of the screen if you're watching this on any screen to answer a few questions about the show. Later on in the show, we'll bring you some highlights of the latest cohort of Edtech fellows, Mastercard Edtech fellows, who have also gone through the process we've been taking some of our fellows through as well. The third cohort of the Mastercard Foundation Edtech Fellowship kicked off yesterday, and we'll show you some excerpts of the event later. But when we come back from this break, I'm going to ask Prof a few more questions around what we can use Edtech to achieve in closing these gender gaps. And she'll also tell us what to expect in the next quiz. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Edtech Monday, and we have a special edition for you today. We're talking about reducing the gender gap in STEM, and my guest is everybody's favorite, Professor. And apparently, you have many names. Let me try if I can remember. LC Akosia Bira Efa Kaufman.
Well done. I'll give you 3 points.
This program is an initiative of the Mastercard Foundation Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning, geared towards the integration of tech in education policies and practice across Africa. So the Edtech Monday aligns with the Foundation's broader Young Africa Work strategy. They want to enable 30 million young Africans, particularly women, refugees, and persons with disability, to access dignified and fulfilling work by 2030. So it's a double 30. Now, the Edtech Monday is brought to you under the auspices of the Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Technology, and of course your favorite Channel 1 television and 97.3 City FM. Now, if you're listening to us on radio, send your thoughts and reflections on this. Tell us how much you love Prof. Kaufman on 059 267 4082. We'll read them after the program, and you can also scan the QR code on the screen in front of you to answer a few questions about the show. Prof, so at the School of Engineering, you have 5 sub-departments, right?
Yes.
Tell me about those specific engineering programs and whether the gender challenge is the same for all the 5.
All right. So, yes, 5 departments. We have the Department of Agricultural Engineering. We have the Department of Biomedical Engineering, the Department of Computer Engineering, the Department of Food Process Engineering, and the Department of Materials Science and Engineering.
Did you have to do it in alphabetical order?
Yes, because we do that all the time for the sake of fairness. You should see my heads of departments. I treat them that
Agric, biomedical, computer, food, and materials.
Yes.
I think I understand agric engineering. Biomedical engineering, you've explained it. That's your profession.
That's my own.
Computer engineering.
Yes.
And then food process engineering and materials engineering.
Yes.
Does the gender gap manifest itself in the same way for all 5?
No, not in the same way for all 5 departments. For example, biomedical engineering is actually more, there's more equality in biomedical engineering. Maybe because of the life sciences, they hear biomedical, it's a little easier for them to envision what that might be about. So we don't have too much trouble in biomedical engineering. Computer engineering, oh dear, is a serious problem there. And so we would certainly be doing the affirmative action when it comes to admissions, when it comes to computer engineering, because we want more women in there. Although it's changing. Once the women come in there, they do really well too. So I don't know. Anyway, then there is food process engineering. Food process engineering typically has a lot of women applying.
Is it?
Yes. But it's probably because they don't understand what it's about. They think it's about food, I don't know what they are thinking, but it is engineering, it's process engineering. It's mostly chemical engineering applied to food. And so they are getting trained to become engineers. Yes.
I see.
So there are some subject-specific differences, but in general, we still have issues with underrepresentation of women.
What about materials?
Materials, yes, we have underrepresentation of women in material science and engineering. In fact, in the 5 departments, material science and engineering, when it comes to faculty, has never had a female faculty member.
That is not right. Wow. And I'm sure, how long will you be dean? How long does the...
The deanship is a 3-year term, renewable for another 3 years. So I'm in my 2nd term.
Good.
I have 2 more years to go.
Maybe by the time you leave, we should have trained somebody in the masters, or you need to be a PhD.
I am looking for PhD holders.
Because you need a PhD
in material
to
science
teach.
and engineering, and I need clearance from Government of Ghana, Finance Ministry, to be able to employ. I'm in a government institution.
So you can get some quality people to help within the
yes.
5.
We are short-staffed. Actually, we need more faculty.
Wow. Across all 5?
All 5, yes.
How can Edtech bridge the resource gap for marginalized learners who lack access to modern labs or STEM equipment?
Yes, this is extremely important. Just last week, I was at the Rethinking, you know, the AI conference.
Yes, Rethinking AI
and
conference.
there was some discussion about this, that normally we have issues with large class sizes and how EdTech can help us to manage these class sizes, because we are moving, right? Things are changing. We need technology to be able to help us to do the things more efficiently. So imagine a classroom where you have an opportunity to use technology to provide individualized experiences for all members regardless of class size. The human teacher is not going to be able to do that. The lecturer that has that class size of 100 is not going to be able to give these experiences. However, we can think very creatively, come up with these technologies that will help us to be able to deploy programs, high quality programs that target individuals. That means that young lady that feels intimidated in that large class will never speak up, now has an opportunity to do activities that will help them to grasp the concepts and be very productive.
And EdTech can also help with remote learning.
Exactly.
So more flexibility in the, because you don't have to always be...
You don't have to be physically present in order to be able to understand and appreciate the material that is being delivered. Yes. But as I mentioned before, it comes at a cost. Not everybody can afford this, right? And so the tools have to become more affordable. Data in Ghana is the most expensive.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
data cost must come down. Digital tools must become more affordable, or we have to think of other models where we provide these tools in environments where they can be accessed and used by the people that actually need them. Then scholarships, and I am happy about MasterCard Foundation and the scholarships they provide, and their insistence on having a large percentage of underrepresented groups as beneficiaries.
So even though I'm not a science student, I imagine that large class sizes can be a problem for practical training and also laboratories or workshops, because I suspect that engineering is also practical.
Oh, it's supposed to be very practical.
So talk to me about how much, what is the need? Do you have enough labs? And then what can we use technology to do, so that if somebody wants to do like a demonstration of something, or he wants to do a prototype, how can technologies like these help? Just so that I don't just sit in the classroom and answer questions.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay, so we have labs at the School of Engineering Sciences. I hope you'll have a chance to look around a little bit.
I will.
Yes. So we do have labs, but our labs are small, right? So it again comes back to this. So imagine that I have a class size of 100 students. That my lab capacity is 20. That means I have to divide that class into multiple groups and have them come in.
You have to do 5 times the work.
Yeah.
For the one class.
Yes, and I told you I'm also short-staffed. So the same faculty member has to now reorganize to be able to do this. Okay, there are some of the activities. Think of pre-lab, things that you do before you even come into the lab. Introduction to the equipment that is supposed to be used for the practical. That can be done using a virtual lab. Virtual lab? Yes. You can do virtual field trips. Okay, so let's say an engineering class wants to visit Akosombo. We can deploy the technology to go do a virtual field trip and share this, an interactive one.
Wow.
So that the students can learn even before making that.
So they'll do virtual reality. They are walking in the
Why
dam.
Why not?
And these are real size images and all of this.
Yes, we can have our technical people come up with wonderful experiences. Give the engineering students a challenge. Build this structure.
Wow.
They show their calculations, it gives them an opportunity to interact with the equations, show their calculations, come up with a design, test it out without going anywhere. They don't kill anybody yet. Right? These are the sort of tools that I'm expecting our community of technology people to be doing to
Are
promote
these tools
engineering.
available that should just be bought, or are you saying that your people, you create them?
We should be creating them ourselves.
Okay.
Right? We should be creating them ourselves. Some can be bought, but if you keep buying, then what is the purpose of the training?
Of course. Right.
So some school projects should even be a challenge to build these tools.
But you still need something like 3D printing lab.
Yes.
So for example, if I can imagine, I haven't been to your lab and I'll check, you would definitely need a couple of 3D printers to bring into life the kinds of things you design. Do you have any?
Yes, we do have some 3D printers.
Okay. And then what other kind of labs do you have?
Okay, so we have computer labs. Okay, if you're doing design on the computers, computer engineering is really reliant on that computer lab. So we do have computer labs. The Department of Biomedical Engineering has a lab, a regenerative engineering lab.
Correct.
So this is the place where they handle cells. They may be doing some experiments with living tissues, right?
So if you want to do a prosthetic limb for somebody, is that a lab they'll do it in?
Well, it will probably be done in one of our other labs. We actually have a clinical engineering lab, and we're very grateful to the partners from GIZ for sponsoring that. We opened that this year, so it's there. So a clinical engineering lab, it looks like a hospital setting with medical devices for the students to work on. Yes. If you go to food process engineering lab, they have a mini pilot lab where they produce food products. I mean, recently they came to announce that they have some commercial products. They are making juices and other things from the lab there. Yes. Agric engineering, they have a workshop.
Wow.
Right? So for mechanization, they build farm structures, right? They learn how to ride the tractor. They are always talking about their tractor. We got a donation of a tractor from the World Food Program, for which we are very, very grateful, and some implements, farm implements. So we are trying to give our students practical experiences so that when they go out there and meet the real life problems, they are able to do something about those. Wow. And our students have been doing very well, I have to say.
Amazing stuff. So we're talking to Professor Elsie-Efa Kaufman, who is the Dean of the School of Engineering here at the University of Ghana, and we're trying to discuss the gender gap in STEM and how to bridge it. Fantastic work she's done here so far. Looking forward to the future as well. You definitely need more faculty. We need more inclusive policies, all right? Yes. What can platforms like Edtech Monday and the MasterCard Foundation do in that regard to support what you are doing here?
So it's an ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
So let's start right from the beginning. First, I say the young people have to have interest in the sciences before they even become eligible. Yes. So it's a whole process. Yeah. So I'm expecting that all these people in that space should think more holistically. I see people doing things. One person will do something small here, another person, it's all good. Yeah. But I think when we come together to do things together in a more structured and more organized way, we can build on the synergies a bit better. So I'm looking at, let's say, some people like my DEX people encouraging at the lower levels, right? It's part of a plan. You have an outreach team from the university that goes and uses these tools to be able to encourage the young people to come in. We have at the senior high school level experiments like university students for their projects are developing some of these technologies, using them in the high school to show even what the university labs look like. Then we have at the university level industry, because it's a pipeline, right? The industry is the ultimate beneficiary of the products that we put out from the universities. They should help us.
So industry could come in,
sponsor a project, a real life project for a student to work on.
or provide internships
Fund
for
them.
your students to solve some of their real life problems that they pay for.
Exactly. MasterCard Foundation providing the scholarships that are necessary to run the programs, not just to pay the fees, but to have the programs, the mentorship programs and other programs that will keep them in and graduating.
How optimistic are you that by the time you leave this role, the 30% can get a bit higher and the 10% faculty? Because 10% faculty engineering is very low, 7 out of 70.
Yes, we keep working. we keep working, and we keep trying to do our best.
Do you train PhD students here?
Yes, we do. All of our programs are running PhD programs.
So do you have enough interested quality women in the pipeline that you are looking to bring up to help fill that gap?
Yes, we have women that we are graduating, not many, but this is where the scholarships come in.
Wonderful.
Yes, so if you can provide scholarships for some of these PhD women doing PhDs, that will increase the number.
And encourage them to stay.
That will encourage them to stay.
Otherwise, when industry takes them, then the faculty suffers.
Exactly. But the trouble, as I have mentioned, is I'm in a government institution. If I don't have clearance to employ, I can train all of these wonderful people. They are leaving us. Biomedical engineering, for example. Biomedical engineering has the only PhD program, actually graduate level program in biomedical engineering in Ghana. We had a first undergraduate program. We are the only ones running a PhD program.
How many students in that program?
Numbers have increased. I would say there are about 40 masters and PhD students altogether.
You have a good number of women in there?
Not that many, but we have some numbers.
Okay.
I don't know the details. I need to get the data.
Government must give them clearance so they can
so
employ.
that we can employ, because we can't continue putting out these products for others, or if there's no job opportunity, it's harder to encourage more people to join.
You are achieving more than you know. I'm telling you, you are doing such a great job. Dean of the School of Engineering, Professor Elsie Kaufman, who's also the quiz mistress for the NSMQ. She's done it. This will be your 20th year.
20 years.
Looking forward to it?
Yes.
We pray for the day an all-girls school wins. That will be a great day for the quiz as well. And this is still Edtech Monday. When we come back, we'll be showing you excerpts of our kickoff for the 3rd cohort of Edtech Fellows. And these are some of the young men and women we have put in this ecosystem to bring them up as Edtech entrepreneurs. Stay with us.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the celebration of the launch of the 3rd cohort of the MasterCard Foundation Edtech Fellowship.
We are honored by your presence. Your participation today underscores the importance of collaboration as we work together to shape the future of education in our country.
Congratulations and welcome to the 2026 cohort of the MasterCard Foundation Edtech Fellowship. This is not just a milestone, it is a signal that you are building solution Africa needs now.
It is not just about the numbers. There is evidence of knowledge acquisition and skills development across learners that use the various Edtech solutions that are supported under the fellowship.
To the MasterCard Foundation, thank you for believing in Ghana's potential. And to MEST Africa, thank you for creating a space where innovation is nurtured. I now formally declare this forum formally and duly launched.
So the EduSports team are so excited to have been part of this launch of the third cohort of the MasterCard Foundation's Edtech Fellowship. And we're particularly really interested in collaboration in EduSports. So it was so exciting to be able to learn more about all the other organizations and also meet lots of the partners behind this program. It was also so exciting to hear directly from the Minister of Education himself about the government's plans to increase greater digital equity and also his plans for disability access to education.
I'm excited to be part of this MasterCard Foundation Edtech Fellowship, and one intriguing thing is me visiting the various stands of all the fellows, and I'm amazed at all that we are doing. I believe that together we are going to achieve big things, if only the Ghanaian community is going to support what we do. I believe that we are going somewhere. I'm so excited to be part, and I believe that the learnings we are making here is going to help us also build very robust systems that will change lives in the future and now. Thank you.
So there you have it. Affirmative action, deliberate efforts at promoting quality, and also state support and private sector partnerships. Those were some of the highlights from our conversation with Professor Elsie Efa-Kaufman. Hope you've learned something and hope you've enjoyed today's edition. Don't forget, the EdTech Mondays are brought to you by the MasterCard Foundation. And of course, we execute it with Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Technology, showing on Channel 1 Television and 97.3 CDFM. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.